So TryHackMe has just recently released their new SOC Simulator, built to help you have an opportunity to experience the real-world work and day-to-day operations of a security operations center analyst. Everything that I've seen thus far has been really cool. You have a whole dashboard and everything that you're able to actually interact with and work with in that practical, hands-on, and application-based learning that TryHackMe is known for. This is my very first time taking a look at it, so forgive me if I stumble a little bit, but I am really excited to dive in to the SOC Simulator. I'll include a link in the video description if you'd like to follow along. The full version of the SOC Simulator is available with TryHackMe for Business, but there are scenarios available for free and premium users, so anyone can sign up and try it out. It's meant to help you and your team get some more training and real-world experience in that analysis and combating cybersecurity threats. Anyway, with all that out of the way, let's get started and dive in to launch the SOC Simulator. There are a handful of scenarios to dig into, and I think we can get started with just the introduction, cruise through that, see how fast we can do, and then move on to the next scenario. I'll leave the next medium and hard tasks for you, but let's get started. And one of the best things about TryHackMe is that a lot of their learning is browser-based, so all you need is a web browser to dive into the action. You might be able to see down on the very bottom right of the screen, it is putting together our environment and simulating a security operations center. They have a SIEM in action here, they're spinning up the virtual machines, generating the logs, all this awesome stuff so that we can dig into some analysis. Scenario objectives here are pretty simple. All we need to do is monitor and analyze real-time alerts, identify and document critical events such as suspicious emails and attachments, and then build out a case report based on the observations and help our team understand the full scope of alerts and malicious activity. And alrighty, here we are in TryHackMe's SOC Simulator. Well, I think we've already covered the scenario details, so we don't need to dig into that, but looks like we could be seeing alerts here pop up on the dashboard, and we can triage them as they come through. Let me go explore the alert queue here, and well, we haven't picked anything up quite yet. We can assign ourselves an alert to start investigating and find all the true positives, or something that's actually literally occurring in our environment, as opposed to false positives, like alerts that fired but really shouldn't have because they weren't a genuine finding. Looks like we had one come through though, a suspicious email from an external domain. We can click into this and get a little bit more insight. A suspicious email was received from an external sender with an unusual top-level domain. Note from the socket, oh, we got more alerts coming through, goodness gracious. This detection rule still needs fine-tuning. So this could very well be a false positive. Looks like the subject here was "You've won a free trip to Hat Wonderland." And the sender being Boone at hatventuresworldwide.online, well, this may very well just be spam and not actually malware or a phishing email. Looks like even the content was removed in accordance with our company's policy. So, okay, we could probably change the action here. And then back in our dashboard, let's see if we can make some more sense of this. We have an open alert. That ID number, though, 1001, isn't what we just assigned ourselves to. You could, of course, sort by severity, but looks like that is just pending and has not been received by another analyst. Oh, more coming through, though. We see another suspicious parent-child relationship. You can see over on the left-hand side, the alert type tells us that is a process alert, not based off of phishing. And if we saw in our alert queue, we could actually see that the data source these came from is different. The other one was previously email, while this is sysmon. A suspicious process with an uncommon parent-child relationship was detected in your environment. Well, servicehost.exe running taskhost w ngc key pregen doesn't really sound that good, but we can dig into it. This is very cool though. We have alerts coming through in like real time. What should we do with our first one? We still haven't dug into our free trip to Hat Wonderland yet. I'm thinking that's a false positive, but let's go explore our SIEM and analyst VM. And you can call it SIM or SIEM or whatever you want, really. I know that's another holy war. Wait a second, we're getting more alerts coming through? There's another. Reply to a suspicious email. An employee replied to a suspicious sender with an unusual top-level domain. Note from the sockhead, this detection rule still needs fine-tuning. Well, we are definitely living the SOC life, just getting more alerts coming through than we are able to keep up with. Anyway, let's take a look at our SIEM. Oh, and we're on like a whole Splunk environment. This is awesome. You could query and look through anything you'd like, just as you would with any actual Splunk instance in the real world for your actual job. There are a lot of these coming through, but whoa, forceupdate.ps1, that certainly stuck out to me. And here you could drill down into absolutely everything that occurs in your environment. It is a security information event management platform. Goodness, there is a lot to explore here. This is awesome. We still got to figure out what to do with our first ID 1000 alert. Looks like I can just remove myself from that alert, but then how do I triage here? Let me go take a look at the guide, and they do have documentation, playbooks, and other case reports that we can explore. The guide here, though, tells me a little bit more. We want to find all the true positive alerts. We know that is the goal and objective, but okay, yeah. Hey, RTFM, go read the documentation. Step 3, though, says to investigate the alert queue, just as we have been doing. When we take ownership of an alert, it actually starts the timer on MTTR, or the mean time to respond and react to an alert. Whoops, I was probably burning time there. Step 5 says we could deep dive with the SIEM and virtual machine. You can use the SIEM to search logs and investigate indicators. The VM is there for deeper analysis. Combine these tools to verify what's real and what's a false alarm. Alright, so for step 6, that's when we really write our findings as a report, kind of determining whether or not that is a true or false positive. I can see on the side there. And then we can see how well we did. Well, let's spin up the analyst virtual machine and see if we can dig into these emails or these processes and get a little bit further in our investigation. It is pretty awesome that this all runs in the browser, so all one single environment, we are already part of the party here with the SOC Simulator. What is this attachments folder? I think these might be emails that already have attachments included. Oh yeah, there's that force update that we saw. An important invoice February. Nice. Let me extract this, and then let's go dig into our force up. Oh, wow. Invios.pdf. Looks like a LNK or Windows shortcut file. Can I take a look at the properties here? I'm kind of getting nerd sniped, though. I do really want to go see what is in that PowerShell script. Oh, invios.pdf.lnk. Owner with the domain administrator from, DCL1. We're on the domain controller. Alrighty. Let's put that one away for now, but let's go see what our force update is really doing. Let me try and edit this so I won't actually run it, but I do want to see the contents of the PowerShell script. Let's full screen this. There's a comment here. This script was crafted by the one and only Yanni Zubair from IT. Contact him at this email for all your tech needs. This script automates Windows updates and performs various system diagnostics for troubleshooting. Generated files are in the saved output folder and can be sent via email if needed. I think, at least based off of just the comment and general gist, this looks fine. It is going to end up just redirecting usual PowerShell commandlets into specific files. None of this looks like malware. Nothing looks particularly malicious here. So I think we're okay with this, even if it is just weird, sketchy, like sysadmin PowerShell scripts. That is totally real-world SOC analyst work, not gonna lie. The number of times we've seen just weird random stuff from IT administrators is very much non-zero. Our important invoice, though, is definitely sketchy. We do have more alerts coming through, though. Hey, let me indulge my goldfish brain and take a look at the documentation, playbooks, and other links in the navigation here. Looks like, okay, this is kind of the gist for, oh wow, kind of everyone part of the company. This is awesome. Tool documentation, does this give us a little synopsis of what is in our analyst VM? Not a ton, other than the fact that it's there. Alert triage is really the gist. The other case reports will be what we end up putting together, right? All right, we got more alerts coming through. What's going on in our alert queue? There are 10 alerts now. Suspicious email from external domain. We can drill down into our SIEM and get a closer look on these. Well, okay, yeah, just weird other email spam nonsense that's coming through. Yeah, I think our detection rule on the emails here is definitely not what we want. Our detection engineering team could totally improve those for now. Oh, but important invoice February.zip is definitely what we want to drill down into. Let me assign this to myself so I could explore it. And where else were we? We were back at like 1006, kind of working backwards in alerts right now. Reply to a suspicious email. Ooh, Eileen at Gmail. Why is Sophie responding to that? You don't need a tiny hat, even if you are an extraordinary person. Force update fix. Okay, this is Yanni sending the force update PowerShell script. All right, well, I'm feeling like the suspicious email attachment with our invoice February is definitely bad news bears. I do want to take another quick look in the seam to see what else we might have that is curious and worth writing about in our report. So we've got about 92 events, and that will continue to grow as time goes on. Sysmon seeing registry being set by our print spooler, that's fine in my mind. Logon UI, that also looks like boilerplate windows. Outlook.exe being invoked. Someone likely reading their email. Here's our Lost Hat Lottery, a couple emails that are coming through. There's another here. There's another from our Force update. That is internal, though. That is our IT guy sending that, is it not? Yeah, Yanni Zubair at TryHackMe. Okay, that's fine. More emails about hats. Oh, this is our important pending invios.eml. Ooh, that is them likely just clicking on the email file and having that opened in Outlook, or unless Outlook just does that with more process invocation. That is just weird. But that, I'm going to assume, if we click into it, that's very, very likely what will include our invoice file that we are sketched out by. Oh, it's been sent to our internal invoice processing. Wait, no. Career development chat? Book your coaching session? Why did that get sent from the invoice to itself? You know what? I'm not going to question that. Important invoice keeps popping up, though. I'm sure that is sketch. Oh, someone interviewing for the Fashion Hat Chronicle? I dislike that we can't see the emails, but if the attachment folder is really everything that we need in this case, I think that's enough to make our judgment call. And I think that's realistic, right? Like, obviously, you're, as a security operations center analyst, going to have to work with sometimes limited information and then be able to still, like, hey, move quick because you have a flood of alerts coming in. Like, there's still more as I am clicking around here and just trying to explore. I think we are dealing with the case, though, where our detection engineering team has a little bit of a finicky rule depending on just the subject of an email and not entirely the attachments, which has been helpful for us as we've been able to extract other attachments, but definitely a lot of other false positives on just natural spam nonsense about hats. Up to 109 events right now, though. Let me go back to my analyst VM. I think, okay, it'll reconnect and put me like right back where I was. That's awesome. Can I like open the LNK file in Notepad? Like, I know this is weird, but in a little browser lab here, I don't have a ton of tools readily available to me. So what I'm gonna do is like genuinely straight up drag this PDF LNK file into Notepad. And then I think I'll still be able to see the clear text strings here. Yeah, exactly that. All right, hey, let's turn word wrap on and let's amp up the text here so you can see this a little bit better. But my goodness, that is certainly bad. Okay, so PowerShell being invoked, absolute path in the file system, with -C for a command to run, IEX being the PowerShell alias for invoke expression, with a little download cradle, new object, system.net.web client, typical boilerplate to be able to download content using just download string here, so you get the raw plain text values from, a GitHub uploaded file like raw.githubusercontent.com based off of this individual and PowerCat. PowerCat being one of the tooling, one of the offensive capabilities out and about to be able to have Netcat basically operating as PowerShell syntax. So once they bring that into the context of that running PowerShell session, because of IEX and invoke expression, they use PowerCat with a command line argument, taxi to connect to an ngrok hosted endpoint, given a port 19282, and then executing with TAC-E PowerShell. Okay, so this is a reverse shell. This is a reverse shell in PowerShell, and that's enabling a threat actor, an adversary, whatever cybercriminal hacker to maintain access or even just gain access to the endpoint. This invoice.pdf.lnk trying to masquerade and hide as a little PDF file when it's really an executable and something you can invoke Windows shortcut. That attachment is from a phishing email, without a doubt. So let's get back to our alert queue. I am positive that this event ID 1007 is a true positive. Let's try and write a case report where this one is totally a true positive. We can add some notes here for our team. This email includes a compressed zip archive with a file invios.pdf.lnk inside. this masquerades as a PDF file, but relies on the Windows Explorer setting, view file extensions, being disabled, so it can hide the fact that it is a Windows shortcut. This Windows shortcut is set with a target to invoke PowerShell with a classic download cradle for the offensive security tool PowerCat, and then immediately executes a reverse shell connection. All right, I cleaned it up a little bit, but it's going to 2.tcp.ngrok.io on port 19282. This is a phishing email, and the email attachment is malware. Simple and easy. Yes, this totally requires escalation. Let me hit yes on this. Submit and close the alert, and fingers crossed. Oh, my MTTR is probably going to be atrocious. Hey, we did it! Victory! Security breach prevented. You passed the scenario, successfully identifying all true positive alerts. In this case, just one. Your MTTR and dwell time were longer than average compared to your last 5 runs. Hey, this is my first time. With a true positive rate better than previous runs, phishing alerts took notably longer to close. All right, hey, look, this is a YouTube video. I'm teasing. The true positive looks like we were right with our overall analysis with that phishing email and attachment that we determined. It looks like this is powered by AI. Very slick. I'm glad that they appreciated my report. Thank you, AI overlords. Wait, however, they could benefit from a more structured approach to address the complete scope of the situation? Oh, explicitly identifying who's affected or targeted by this threat. It's in the alert. It says it. Providing a time frame or context around this threat was detected. It's literally in. All right, I'm teasing. Whatever. You know what? I didn't think that my single paragraph was all that's included. I feel like you should attach the alert if you send this to stakeholders and big folks, you know? I digress. This was really cool. Obviously, I've done like the tiniest little showcase of one alert, and it took me 15 minutes. And then we could start the next scenario for phishing unfolding. Well, let's take a look. I don't think we need to dig into this scenario for the rest of this video. I do want to leave some for you to explore, but oh, okay, already getting some alerts down here. But I think this is awesome. Obviously, small, simple stuff. I was just scratching the surface to be able to see, to be able to play with and experiment with TryHackMe SOC Simulator. But take a look at this stuff. It's awesome that you have, like, legitimately real alerts coming through over time, so you have that feeling. You know what it's like living through, the flood or stream of new signals firing and things to triage and analyze. And then you can drill down into the SIEM solution or your own analysis virtual machine and do the work of a security operations center analyst. And again, it's super easy. It's streamlined. It's all in your browser. You don't need any tooling. You don't need any lab environment. It gives it all to you. Even with a structure and setup to benchmark your own MTTR, your mean time to resolve, and how well you report things. Oh, what is this? Try detect this? Is this like detect it easy? All right, I'm gonna get nerd snipe and just kind of super interested in all the other fun toys and bells and whistles that we got here. Ooh, try detect this. Secure file and URL analysis tool. This is so cool. Upload a file. It's like a little URL scan and virus total and everything. Sweet. Hey, these are all the cool things you get to play with, all the alerts you get to triage, look through, the work that you get to do as you're simulating your time as a security operations center analyst. I'm really looking forward to cruising through a couple of these scenarios. I think this is awesome practice and training, and it is that real world scenario and setup for yourself. And not just you. Maybe it's for your team. Maybe it's for your coworkers, your peers, your colleagues. It is something that I hope improves your security posture at your company, your business, your organization, whatever it may be. Let me hop out of the simulation here, but that's pretty awesome that it's like a game we can turn on and play whenever we'd like. But look, even if you're a manager, this is awesome because that way you can assess, benchmark, and see what your team's up to. If you're interested in a little bit more information, they do have their frequently asked questions down at the very bottom of the page. And again, I'll have a link in the video description if you'd like to take a look, but I think it's awesome. I think the reporting and analytics is very cool so that your team and you as a security operations center can grow and improve and practice and train. So hey, kudos, well done, huge props, and 2 thumbs up to TryHackMe and their security operations center SOC Simulator. If I may say, I think TryHackMe has really been doing a stellar job putting out more blue team training, like defensive security practitioner work to defend and harden your environments, not just hack along different vulnerabilities and exploits and all that elite stuff. Look, you still got to defend. I know they put out just recently their Security Analyst Level 1 certificate, so I am excited to dig into that very soon. But with all that said, hey, big thanks, special shout out, especially thank you to TryHackMe for sponsoring this video, and thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I hope you get to kick the tires with the SOC Simulator, and again, link in the video description. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.